Okay, and we are live! Thank you so much for watching my stream. My name is Amphy. We're going to be playing Planetside 2. Obviously, I know we're starting a little bit later than normal. I was running Rapid Astray. I'm sorry. As you can tell, I'm still very up and hyper over coffee. I had like two mocha lattes and a giant bottle of coffee. I meant to say coffee. Alright, I have no idea what we're going to be doing today. Apparently, Gino has some leadership training to do, which is going to be great. I can't wait to see how everybody does. I'm just going to go ahead and post the link to the thingamabopper. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get started and see what's going on, guys. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you like the stream, if you don't, even if you don't, like, comment, share, subscribe. And remember, this is going to be Planetside 2 server Emerald. TR is the faction. I almost said fraction. And Brothers Of Tyr is the outfit. Gino's doing leadership training if you are interested. I know he's doing leadership training because I read the Discord. Can I get an invite to the squad?
One second. Okay, because I need them now, and I'll need them in the future, and I need you guys to be trying now to find out if you can do it. Right? If you can't do it, there's no shame in that. But again, leadership doesn't stop at you being a squad leader, or being a platoon leader, or being a commander, or what part of the council. Okay, leadership is in every choice you make. You're going to be the example of what a B-tier guy is supposed to look like. And that's not perfection. Again, that is not perfection. But that is when they look at us, we're not running around like our heads cut off. And, oh, I see a lib way over here. Oh, I'm going to go and shoot him. And I'm outside of the building. I'm not with my squad. That's not what we need. And I'm going to start getting back on track with kicking people that are doing that, right?
Real quick, not to cut you off, but I think this guy's gun is glitched over here. It's happening for anybody else.
I don't see it.
I guess we're gonna be super serious today.
Nikolai, yeah. He's
this is bad for me. Okay, we have a leadership training on SMR.
Okay, then let's move to another building.
Let's
move to another building. Follow me. We're gonna go over.
You gotta hit ready to play.
Follow the big star. Okay, so following in with what I've been saying, guys, is if you're going to squad lead, you need to just do it. Okay, there's no easy way to do it. There's no easy time to do it. There's no convenient time to do it. It's just doing it or not. If you're going to do it, then do it. Right? Just pick it up and go. If you really don't feel like it, fine. That's okay. There's no shame in it. Okay? But at the same time, if you're going to, you do it. Right? And be confident. If it's the wrong decision, it doesn't matter. Okay? It honestly doesn't matter if it's the wrong decision. You're the one making the decision. You're the one that's going to have the balls enough to make the decision. So nobody better freaking judge you for that decision. Because if they do, they can try and lead themselves. Okay? Do you think Gino is perfect? Do you think Gino doesn't make mistakes?
Yes!
Gino makes a ton of mistakes. I'm so sorry. We'll tell you the amount of mistakes I make. Okay? He can see them because he knows how it works and he knows how I work. Right? And you guys eventually will pick it up too. But do I stop? No. Do I keep going? Yes. Right? And that's leadership. Leadership is saying, it is my responsibility and duty to ensure that these guys are still fighting, that these guys are encouraged, and that being confident in my decision, regardless of whether it's the right one or not at that moment. You will have brilliant moments. You will have terrible moments. And the sooner you get past the fact that you can still play this game at your worst possible day and the day after, the more you will love doing leadership and the more you will love this game like I do. Okay? I have had terrible, terrible, terrible days where I have thought that night I need to leave this game. I wake up in the morning and say, why did I even think that? This game is amazing. Yeah, I sucked yesterday, but I'm going to take what happened yesterday and try and apply and make it better. Right?
Also
those kind of things. Yep.
If I could interject with something about
Sure.
squad leadership, there is no requirement for squad leadership, and I feel this is something we may not mention enough because a lot of people come from AODR, and AODR is actually kind of unique in that they do not allow leadership unless they're given permission. We're not like that. We encourage you to lead if you want. Take the initiative.
Yep. I mean, so there's only one real kind of requirement for leadership, because I'm sure people are kind of doing some of the things that I'm trying to emulate when I lead, is I want you guys to be involved in the community. So on that TeamSpeak, on the Discord, maybe not using it crazy, but on it when you're playing the game specifically, or on it to communicate, right? And if you can get on the forums, great. If you can't, I'm not too worried about the forums so much. But get on TeamSpeak, guys. Use those comms. Use those mics. Don't be shy. If somebody honestly is going to judge you for your voice, I will kick him out of this outfit so fast, they won't even know what happened, okay? Because there's none of that crap that's going to be in this outfit. And that's what I mean. Like, you guys are going to be able to understand that so well that you guys are going to be leading, even though you don't even think about the fact that you're leading, because you're not, right? Anyways, okay, so be confident, regardless of what you're doing. Whatever decision you make, just do it. If it's wrong, live with it and learn from it, okay? If you need to take a break, go for it. Sorry, go for it.
I would like to add something to, I've trained a couple of people here, and there's a couple of basics that I teach everybody. If you guys have remember, so that even Insanity and Floopy, they actually went under my sort of like one-to-one squad leadership training. If you guys have run in my squads and my platoons, I follow a couple, actually just a small amount of rules or basics that I follow when I'm running the squad. I'm going to give you guys pretty much the same thing as I gave to Floopy and the others. Number one, there is the requirement of having the voice, what I call the... you guys are familiar with Cesar Milan, the dog whisperer? You guys, that's sort of my analogy there.
Can I be a dog whisperer?
If you guys have seen that, he always says calm, assertive. Well, I don't want the calm one. I want to be firm. It means if I give a command, I speak with a strong voice. I'm not pissed off. I'm not like being too like shouting at you. I'm just being bossy, but I say it in what they call an assertive manner, that I'm basically ordering you.
Anybody else see that person fly through the wall?
Everybody, let's go press the redeploy button. We're gonna move. When I say that, I always have that firm, assertive voice. That way, people pay attention to what I'm saying. If you have a voice like this, okay, guys, let's go to this waypoint. I can tell you, if I'm playing in your squad, I'm only going to be there for 5 minutes because I'm going to be tired of hearing your voice. But if you have that firm, assertive voice, people will listen to what you're saying. Number two, logistics. People, you guys see me use the galaxies a lot to transport my troops, even after or before the bases are getting capped. That's very important. If you are basically saying to your members, get to this waypoint, get to that waypoint, they're going to come there on their own, whether they're driving a Sunday, they're walking towards it, and what's going to happen is you're not going to get everybody at that point at the same time. Get a Galaxy, get a Valkyrie, drop them. What happens when you drop them? They're all together in one point. If there is a Sunday or a point that you guys need to retake, 12 guys are dropping at the same time. And when you have 12 guys dropping at one position, you can do pretty much anything you want. The other thing is being able to talk to your squad members. I mean, I have players or squad members that they like to run the squad, but they never say anything. If you guys notice, I never shut up. Even I have a comment from Hypno Butler. He said, this guy never shuts up, and I love it because I constantly give you orders. I tell you where to go. I move the waypoints around based on what I'm seeing on the map. Now, that one does require some time to learn, to be able to constantly give orders while you're playing. But guess what? If you really care about, if you have a 48-man team, I usually don't play anymore. I just look at the map and tell people where to go. So you need that firm, assertive voice. Make sure you have logistics at every single time. If you have to stop what you're doing and say, hey, everybody's scattered all over the map, tell them, hey, we're going to go back to the warp gate. I'm going to pull a galaxy. Everybody redeploy right now. So when you say that, you get them into the galaxy, and before you know it, they're following your order. Now, I've done this with non-B tier members, with puppies, with people I just randomly picked out of the map. And I can tell you in 15 minutes, I have a 12-man team that knows how to follow my order and knows how to be in sync with my squad. So it's for B tier members, it should be easier. But again, this is something that you have to learn, and the best way to learn it is to do it. Just keep doing it. You guys have to do it. You can't be a squad leader if all you do is put a waypoint, and then after people have stopped following your orders, you quit. That's not going to work.
You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And if people aren't going to listen, that's why you'll see it. Me and Sorry. If people aren't listening, we just kick them. If they're not going to learn their lesson after that, after rejoining, kick them again and ban them. If they're B tier, you're going to get like 3 chances. After 3 chances and you're still not listening, you're gone from the squad or platoon. If you get reinvited and try it again, you'll get 3 more chances. And after that, you're gone from the outfit. We want to make sure there's a standard that's being upheld, right? And now this is another thing that I'm going to say. There's 2 things actually I want to say. One is related to IVR, so IVR bug me if I forget to say it. But one thing is, and I wrote it down because I was going to forget, if you see someone struggling in a leadership position and or as a member of your squad, teach them, help them, try and be that friend, try and be that teammate, right? The platoon leader and squad leader, our job is to make sure things are being done, and we're kind of more of a bit of enforcers at times, right? It's your job, if you're not the platoon or squad lead, as a leader, man, or as a person that's going to be kind of a leader, to basically look at your buddy and say, hey, dude, stick with the squad. Hey, like, this is why we stick with the squad. You guys need to talk just as much and or maybe a little less than your squad leaders and platoon leaders. Communication is key. Without communication, I don't know if there's an infiltrator on us or not. That's bad, right? So talking, and yeah, I never stop. You guys know I never stop talking. Never, ever, ever, ever. And I always speak as if I know exactly what the heck is happening or what I'm doing. I might feel like I do in those moments, but there are times where I don't at the same time, okay? The other thing, too, that I'm going to mention, I'm just going to make sure I read it again. Yeah, so if you see somebody who's straggling behind, try and encourage them to regroup with the squad. If they do it with a Sunday, that's going to be up to your squad leader to either accept that or kick them. And we'll read their movement, okay? Reading somebody's movement is good. So if you look at the map, for example, okay, so everybody press M, and if you guys see Bravo 5, for example, he's way out of position from the rest of the platoon. If he starts moving towards the right of the map, chances are he's not even trying to regroup. So you can pretty much kick him, right? You can pretty much just write him off. Or if you're going to be the encouraging person or the person that's going to try and curb them, say, hey, Bravo 5, come back. You're getting away from us. If your squad leader doesn't see it or mention it, right? If he turns around and starts heading towards you, he's listening. So don't kick him at that point, right? If he is still going the same way and or stops, then that's when you're going to have to make the call, right? If he's running the other way, he's definitely not listening. But if he stops, make the call if he's going to listen or not, right? If somebody is struggling and goes and grabs a Sunday, if they didn't ask, I mean, your squad leaders and your platoon leaders are probably going to assume the worst right off the bat because, again, we're just so busy with the rest of the facts that we got to cut the fat, right? So if he's getting a Sunday and I didn't call for it, I'll probably ream him out. If he then tells me after the fact, oh, sorry, I was going to get it to regroup and or have a Sunday set, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. But if you can tell your platoon and squad leaders ahead of time, hey, can I do this instead? Chances are you'll get a yes or no. Depends on the situation, right? But
bye, Gino.
I gotta make sure that the platoon is moving, the platoon is going. I do try and incorporate moments like that. I've been trying again to incorporate moments of, hey guys, this is why we're doing this.
Okay, I'm actually going to stop the stream at this moment because... Oh wait, I got viewers. Okay, I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
That's basically the gist of that part.
I was gonna say I'll stop the stream just so the game doesn't crash.
Sorry, I was just reading what VR was saying.
I can't do that to you guys. So you guys get to sit in on our leadership training!
Bravo 5 and all that being away.
No, just like the end part of what I just said.
Oh shit, nothing's working. Okay.
I totally forgot. Yeah, that's what I mean when I get distracted with things.
Okay, he's no longer running through walls, so we're good.
Yeah, just like if you're in the squad, you can still have a leadership role by following orders and checking with your platoon leader if you want to do something, like pull something
Perfect.
Up.
Yeah. So, actually, thank you. That's not exactly what I was trying to remember, but you led me back to it. As a squad leader, okay, and a platoon leader, and Sorry is a perfect example of this, and that's why I'm trying to make sure to do it more myself, because I kind of laxed a bit on it.
I need jelly wrenches.
We need to be making sure we are doing two things. Encouraging our platoon, especially when they're doing good, but even in their bad moments, right? Saying, look, you guys did great. We stuck together. We did our part. We did our job.
I think
if
this
that
is what
is
we're doing
even a true or a lie, it doesn't make a difference, okay? But encouraging people, but also kind of explaining to people, hey, guys, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're grabbing all lightnings. This is why we're grabbing galaxies. This is why we're dropping on this base versus that base. This is why we're getting out pot. This is why we've done this thing, okay? When you do that, people are going to feel confident, better, or more confident, the fact that you know what you're talking about, what you're doing. As well as they're going to want to stick well with that, right? They now understand. They have a concept, right? So if we look at the map again, everybody press down. If I say, hey guys, we're going to drop on, let's pick a base, Sarah Listening Post. And we're going to drop on that C point in order to backcap the enemy. Well, what are the chances that the enemy is going to come back and overpop it and wipe us out from there? Probably really high, right? Especially if you look at the map and where it's at right now. But what happens if we get wiped off that point and didn't take the bait? Is that a loss still?
Not necessarily, because it could draw pop away from the line at wrong line analytics.
Yes,
that's true.
Exactly. So there's two things. Technically, it's a loss. You did not achieve the objective of taking the base, okay? But if your objective wasn't that to begin with, it's a win. If your objective was to land at Sarah Listening Post on C point only to backcap, okay, the enemy has to come back from their attack to deal with you, and that might allow your guys to push up to that base or another base and take it. That's a win. Because now you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for the faction. And that's the whole point of the game, to get those alerts, guys. If you're not going to play for the faction, why play at all? That's the same thing. If you're not going to play for the platoon or the squad, why play at all? You might as well just go on Call of Duty. The maps and the guns and the mechanics of all that are a lot more conducive to single-player, multiplayer killing than this. This is more conducive for tactical teamwork, sticking with the group, and actually playing together and coordinating, right? When TR command is coordinating, we win better alerts. It has been proven in the past. I've seen it, right? When TR command is silent and nobody's trying, we lose alerts that we should be winning, right? Then the same thing applies to this. Not playing as your squad, right? Then that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And as a person of leadership and or a person that's going to lead by example, you need to be trying to keep that in mind, right? So this is what this is a perfect example right now. We've got Bravo 5 and Bravo 6. They're out of position. Somebody, what would you do right now if you weren't squad lead to try and bring them over?
Say Alpha 6, Bravo 5.
You really use your help out here.
Right.
Well, let's get way more basic than that. Did Bravo 5? Where's Bravo 5?
I call him out by name.
Yeah, I call him out by name. But I actually want you guys to encourage them to come here and actually work with us right now.
Bravo 5 logged out.
Perfect.
No, he's just dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Free to play.
Okay. Yeah, group up with us, please. Gonna be part of this. Group up with us. This is not just. I'm sorry, it's boring. Again, if you don't want to be part of it, then don't be. You're more than welcome to leave.
This is purely optional.
This is 100% optional. If you actually want to lead, then smarten up and listen. If you actually don't give a shit, then don't give a shit and go play somewhere else right now. And then when we have an actual combat squad, you can join us then. Capiche? Okay. So, okay. Let's move on from there unless somebody has something else they want to add, say from that.
I was promised there would be pizza.
No? Okay. So, let's get into some map reading stuff. No, actually, you know what? We'll do map last, I think. I think I want to do the comms thing because that's actually pretty important. And I finished just talking about a whole whackload of that. Communications in a squad, between squads, and to command. In tier, how do you think that should look?
If I may, it should go from a squad.
Hold on. Hold on. Senior phone. Say it again, but say it in platoon.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just saying it should go from squad to squad lead, from squad lead up to platoon lead. You know, if you're corresponding back and forth, right? So obviously commands come down the chain, but feeding information up the chain.
I just realized my mic was muted. Well.
Perfect. So now let's do an example. Nikolai is going to be the squad member. He's going to tell what squad are you in? You're in Alpha. He's going to tell me as his squad leader, and we're going to assume Therantoy is the platoon leader. So I'm going to tell Therantoy. So I want you to do it in the proper comms. I don't want people to hear you if you're in a squad, for example, because I want them to understand what it sounds like and how it's supposed to sound. So go.
Be advised, squad lead, enemy Sunder north, 100 meters.
Be advised, platoon lead, enemy Sunder north, 200 meters over.
Roger.
That's
space north.
Yeah, it's as simple as it is. It doesn't have to be crazy, right? So essentially, Nikolai told me of the threat. I then informed my platoon leader of the threat, and my platoon leader has now told the entire platoon about the threat and directed them towards the threat, right? That's how simple it can be. That's how streamlined it could be. Instead, what you shouldn't do is oh my gosh, platoon leader, there's a Sunny on the north side, we gotta kill it. Ah! That's wrong. That should not happen.
That's good.
That is.
That's what I do.
I would just like to
Just
add, the
called
way
me
Nikolai
out
said
in
it is the correct way.
no and
You
so
need
many
to have a
words.
point of reference when you're identifying where a Sunday is or a position of interest that we need to focus. If you say enemy Sunday at the base, where at the base? You know, if I have to spend like 10 seconds to ask you where it is, I'm wasting my time. If you say where is that based on usually the point of reference is the capture point or a squad waypoint, the platoon leaders will get an idea. Hey, he said there is a Sunday east of my platoon waypoint. And then I'm going to play that guessing game. Oh, I know where that Sunday is. The platoon leader will move the platoon waypoint to that location. Say, hey, enemy Sunday at platoon waypoint. Go. So don't just say, oh, there's an enemy galaxy. Even that, there's an enemy galaxy coming from the north. That way, if there's a freaking guy in our squad with a dumbfire rocket, he'll at least try to shoot at it. And at least everybody knows that there's a galaxy coming from that location. So if you see a Sunday, if you see a deployed Sunday, when you say it, it has point of reference from the capture point or from our position or the ammo tower or whatever, so that we're not guessing where the enemy Sunday is at.
Or everybody has a compass on top of their minimap. It's just a matter of glancing at it, right? Your minimap is your freaking friend. It is there to help you describe the situation as best and as fluently as possible and to stick together. What a thought. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do another example. I want each squad has a squad leader. I want one person in each squad. Actually, you know what? Squad leaders determine who in your squad is going to do the talk. And you guys are going to do the same thing. So you, as a squad member, are going to call the threat, call the direction of the threat. You don't even have to worry about the distance so much. The distance isn't as important as the direction. And basically do a communication. Your squad leaders are then going to talk to me. So let's do
I
that
hate
in
these
3,
kind of activities.
2,
Hey, look, an alert!
1.
Let's go towards the alert!
Squad
Alright,
lead, there's a
platoon lead,
bogey
be
due to
advised,
his house.
3 NC Vanguards northeast of the base.
Roger that.
Got a Max coming up big stairs.
Alpha, what's your sit rep over?
Alpha lead, my butt itches, over.
Athlete scratching his butt.
Alpha, what is your
I
situation?
think our squad lead is AFK.
Roger that. So that's actually perfect. That actually worked out way better, right? Oh,
Only Alpha 9 are requesting substitute.
see? Yeah. And that's all it is. Basically, it's just communicating, right? Bravo had a threat. Now, I didn't address that threat because I was expecting Alpha to talk after and to give me another threat assessment, and then I was going to make a call based off of that. Okay? But, yeah, if Sari's AFK,
my butt scratches.
somebody's got to talk. And it don't matter who it is. If you're going to be possible leadership in the future, or if you have done leadership, or you are a squad lead or a platoon lead, you know, known or unknown, right? Then do it, right? Talk. If you're not any of those ranks, doesn't matter. Talk. Leadership, again, is not just the position. It is the concept, right? So use those comms. So Funk spoke up. He said, hey, our squad lead is AFK. And I would have assigned somebody if I was taking it seriously a little more, but Nikolai even spoke up and said, hey, I'll take it since he's AFK. Perfect. That allows me to set up a new squad lead and get those lines of communication rolling again, right? Now, what is something that is vital, absolutely vital, for you to skip all of that to tell the platoon lead?
When it's really bad?
There's something that is so flippin' important that is pretty much the equivalent of getting nuked. Okay?
Something that pertains to the whole platoon, like a galaxy drop on a point that the entire platoon is on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or if one of these squads are wiped or breached. Those are the only situations that I'm accepting of you saying, hey, platoon lead, Charlie wiped. It doesn't have to be from the squad lead. It can be from anybody. Okay, that is something that needs to happen as soon as possible, right? Gal drop on the point. Yeah, we probably need everybody there. Chances are, especially if we're anywhere in the 30-second range and below. Okay.
I think Gino, I'm going to add to that. I think what Gino is saying, when you're a squad leader, it doesn't necessarily mean you always need to be at that same point. If you're paying attention to the map and you see, this is very important. You got to tell, for example, like Gino will call it when he sees that, a certain position is being breached. I do that too. If I see, based on how the enemy troops are moving or based on the dead bodies that are showing up, I would move my squad even without any command from the platoon leader. I'm just going to say to my platoon leader, hey, Alpha is moving into point. And I'm just going to tell him that I moved my squad to that point. Communication is very important because we're giving you the ability to lead a squad. If you see that there's something going on that you can take care of, just say it to the platoon leader. And, if the platoon leader can see it, usually when the platoon leader can see that you're doing the right thing, he's going to let you say, go ahead. And then if that's going to be a problem, the platoon leader said, hey, stay there. Usually the platoon leader will know enough to basically say, Alpha, do not move. I see a Sunday on your position. Do not move. Just stay on that point. But if nothing is happening and you think you can hit that Sunday close to that point, go ahead to tell them, hey, platoon lead, I see a Sunday right in front of our objective. We're going to push in and get rid of it. Then, if he's okay with that, go. You guys are going to feel free to do that. By being a squad leader, don't be like the guy that just puts the spawn beacon. Take control of your squad. If you guys, even if I'm running just one squad, I micromanage you guys. I tell you where to go. I get people to be with me, to work as a fire team, and tell them, hey, stay here, stay there. We're here.
I feel like I'm back on another lecture at work.
Watch the other side of the position. You guys feel free to do that when you're running a squad. I've seen our squad leaders do that. I've seen Gravity just played with him the other day when we were running against the ends. It was great because even though I was giving instruction as a platoon leader, Gravity was basically giving commands to his squad. So it doesn't matter what I'm saying. I just give the point. I just give the instruction. He repeats it, and he tells everybody what they're supposed to do. That's what we're looking for.
So, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but another good example of good squad leadership, in my opinion, is we had a point hold at Silver Valley Arsenal. We had Alpha Bravo Charlie. Charlie was floating between points. Now, the platoon leader is in one spot. He can't see the entire building. So, as I was Bravo holding the ground floor with my squad, I saw that Charlie and I weren't getting any action at door. So I commanded Charlie directly to go assist Alpha, because the platoon lead gave the general command, Charlie, go wherever there's most action, and because I saw that there wasn't enough action here, I told Charlie to move off and assist Alpha, because I had that information. So I could have gone to platoon lead and suggested that, or because I was confident in the information that I had, because Alpha was communicating that they were getting hit heavily, I just told them. That's something else that can be a good idea to do, in moderation.
Yeah. Somebody, our Squigglies, what is our squad composition?
Right now, we're running 4 medics, 2 engineers, and an infiltrator. Else is heavy or light assault, preferably heavy.
No. It's 16 infiltrators, a max, and an entry. Just dropping by to say, hey, what's up? Miss you. Have to do some runs soon.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of you guys to do that, and then I keep either missing you or you guys are too busy.
16 maxes. I don't know how that's possible.
But where everybody's logging off now, so I'll let you guys get back to your discussion there. Take it easy.
Perfect. Thank you. Love you.
No homo.
Yes, homo.
Plenty of homo.
Squigglies, or actually Therantoy, is that squad doctrine meant to make you essentially not think and or just stay with that, or are you encouraged to change that as the situation is needed?
You're always encouraged to go from standard if it need be. I've had plenty of points, especially when you're down squad mates. If you're at half a squad, you don't need to be trying to fill 4 medics. I mean, if you're doing a half squad, maybe 4 people, run utility for alpha. Be infiltrators, be engineers, be medics. Stick with the main force, because you're not going to do much on your own. However, you bolster the effects of the other squads, even if you're down mid.
I think I make a good medic.
Would work with 4.
That too.
Right, so there's other things.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but before I forget, I'm really glad that this was brought up because this is something else that I wanted to talk about. In my squad leadership, I've been running into a problem where if we hemorrhage members, especially later at night, we run into this problem where we have 4 medics, 2 engineers, and like 2 heavies, and our AV capacity is extremely limited. And this was getting to be a problem at one point at actually Silver Valley Arsenal when we were on the road trying to push up. We couldn't kill any Sunnies. We had 2 heavies. That's it. So in that regard, I feel as though the last 1 or 2 medics and the last NG should be some of the last roles that you fill as a squad leader, because you need to have a minimum amount of vehicle killing power.
Well, not
essentially,
only that.
Oh yeah, you go ahead, and I'll say my thing.
Well, as squad leads, going back to what Gino said, first in, first out, you want to be the class that's going to be the tankiest, whether it be a max or a heavy assault. You want to lead from the front, even if you're doing a small squad. So, even if you do a small squad, it'd be good, like, if you have utility, have something strong. Have a little punch.
Yeah. Squad leadership is a thing that can be shifted around if need be to put beacons down, because beacons is just the utility part of it, right? It is not the actual role. You are squad leader, even if you don't have the star, so long as you're acting like squad leader, right? If I pass squad leader to, let's say, Albino, and Albino, drops that beacon, that's all he was meant to do. He's not the new squad lead unless I say, hey, guys, I need a break. Albino's going to be the squad lead. Listen to his orders, right? That's how you pass off squad leadership appropriately. You empower that squad leader with the role, right? But if I say, hey, can you put a beacon down and I pass it to you because I'm a Mac? Well, that's just the utility part of it, right? The other thing, the main reason why I wanted to bring this up is, as leaders, I'm not trying to stifle you guys with micromanagement stuff and all that. I will be trying to micromanage because I have an idea in my head of what is needed. But if your situation requires something different, then let me know either before or after the fact and do it, right? Do it and tell me. Tell me and then do it, or do it and then tell me after, right? Whatever the case may be, you guys need to have confidence enough to say, no, I know this is doctrine, but I don't need the 4 medics right now. In fact, I need another C4 ferry for whatever reason, or I need another engineer, or I need another max, right? Or I don't need an infiltrator. There's more than enough recon darts on the map. I'll switch them out for something different, right? Go for it. But the default is, right, once you're done with that situation, go back to default. Because default is supposed to make us versatile as much as possible and give us all the supports we need possible in order to survive as long as possible, right? That way we're not lacking recon darts, we're not lacking ammo, we're not lacking revives and heals. Now, actually, here's something that's also part of leadership. That's kind of a back end, is if you're a medic, are you still a soldier?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So, as a leader, you want to make sure that you're teaching people that. Hey, medic, don't just have your rep gun out all the time. Switch to your weapon, kill the enemy. You've got 10 seconds to revive people, and you've got a little bit of time to heal, okay? But if somebody is shooting at your guy, right, and you're trying to revive him and he just keeps dying, shoot that guy back, right? Shoot the enemy, get him out of the way, and then revive that guy. Anyways, that's kind of a side point. And that was more what I said on the first one, which there's a recording on the forums. Go find it. Okay, map reading. Let's get into that finally. So everybody open your map because we're basically going to be on that for the whole time. Okay? Map reading is looking at the map and the situations on the map and planning out what you're going to do based on the immediate area of that map and the other areas where there are fights and or where might be to get sundies, tanks, and the gals to drop. Warp gates are of a special importance. If you see a 24 to 48 or 48 to 90 there, don't go to a base until that has cleared. Okay? Or if you're going to go to a base, make sure you're going to support a bros. Right? So let's put into a scenario, Asimir Eastern Warp Gate by the has 46. And let's say the NC has Rhyme, and there's a major fitting at the Biolab. Yeah. So we want to possibly go for Rhyme Analytics. Do we go right away? No. Don't go right away. Wait or attack the Biolab, right? Like, essentially, you're going to plan your stuff based on what's happening around, right? So a better idea, actually, would be the Traverse. Does everybody see where the Traverse is?
Yeah.
Okay, Traverse is underpopped. There are friendlies behind a Ferrari Network compound. The base adjacent to that and very barracks, underpopped, and it's not going anywhere, okay? If we drop on and very barracks right this instant, what do you think is going to happen to that Traverse bomb?
It's going to shift over to the barracks.
How easy is that?
It's going to take them a redeploy because there's no lattice connection. So a spawn hopper redeploy, it's probably going to take them about 1-2 minutes to get there.
And sorry, how long is a redeploy?
Redeploy, just a redeploy?
Yes.
It's about, I think, 10 seconds just to redeploy.
10 seconds. So in 10 seconds, you can go from being over-popping it, okay, and taking that point, to getting destroyed by a Zerg. How long does a base cap normally take on average?
3 minutes 30.
4 minutes. Anywhere between 3 minutes to 5 minutes on average. Some bases take 6 or 7. Some bases take 4, right? On average, we're going to just say 4. They get 10 seconds to come over. You have 4 minutes to do it. So you better make sure that when you're dropping, that you're not going to get dropped in 10 seconds. Okay? That it's going to take them 4 minutes to respond. So that means drop on friendlies that are already fighting to support them. Yeah, you might be zerging it. Guess what? Welcome to the game. Okay? We're here to win. We're not here to play nice all the time. But if you're going to drop on the opposite base while your friendlies are defending and or fighting at the other base,
sometimes
you better be darn well sure that they're going to be distracted there for 4 minutes. Right?
Actually,
so
it's leadership training with B tier. They're training.
Watchtower. You're going to look at Fair Network Compound, Invari Biolab. You're going to look at Mathis and Triumph, because there could be pop back and even in those hexes, right? And those guys, they might be in a situation where they're like, well, we're not really doing anything here, but hey, look, Invari Barracks is going down. Let's hop over there, right? So you got to watch more than just, oh, no, our Invari Barracks, it's underpopped for us, let's go drop there. No, you got to look around. You got to look. Okay, well, so Invari Barracks, do they have anybody at the warp gate? No. Okay, so that's pretty good. They've got a huge pop at the Traverse, but it seems like the pop at Fair Network Compound has changed. Maybe they're committing to a fight to that. Well, while they're committing to, oh, look, the timer just flipped for Fair Compound Network. We have pop there. Why don't we go for Invari Barracks now? We'll drop there. Hey, look, we're taking that point. We should be able to do this. You drop there, you should have time to do it.
We should be actually be able to do it, you know? like right now.
Yeah, I know. I don't...
Let me shoot.
No worries. But what Gino is saying is, those are the typical skills that are going to be needed of being a good platoon leader. If you guys think that platoon leading is simply just putting a waypoint because there's a target there that you can take, that's Planetside to me first open. Nobody knew how to read a map. Like Gino was trying to explain, he's actually reading the map, and he did it. He kind of, pretty well, because sometimes when I'm dropping, I am paying attention to every single thing that's going on the map. I'm even paying attention to what the VS and NC is doing, because that is going to tell me if I'm going to get a response. Now, what he said is like the Traverse. There is actually a group of guys playing between the Traverse and Analytics. So, if you attack and very direct, 1224 is the only pop that you're gonna get unless they overcommit to defending that base. But the other thing you gotta pay attention is there's called the key bases. These are the bases on the map that pretty much is hard to take and is easy to defend. Bases like Matherson's Tryon, Isa Tech Plant, Cerro Listening Post, Rhyme Analytics is also an easy base to take or defend. Defend or it's an easy base to defend and very viable. So every time you attack a base, it's so hard because of where you put the A point. You can just keep dropping people on there, and it's so hard to get them back on the. So you don't just. A lot of people do this. Oh, they see a hex. Like for example, I got a platoon. There's only 2448 at the Traverse. I'm gonna go take that.
Insanity!
Well,
you said you'd be on at a reasonable time, you freaking liar.
The other connection has 1224 VS. It means your total number of pop is actually all the pop that's connected to the base that you're gonna attack. That's how you figure out if you can take that base or not. So basically, and very barracks, there's always some guy inside the biolab or flying around somewhere there. So they're always going to get 1224 at that base. But he's right. If you take that base now, while the VS is pushing Frostfall, and it looks like and stuff like that, you should be able to take that base.
Some basic things that are actually not so basic that a lot of people don't know about the map. So when you're in the map, so if you're in the squad, you're probably kind of new. You probably don't have all the continents memorized. If you're in the map and someone calls out an important base and you can't find it, you hit Control and F together. You can search the name of that base. You just type in part of its name, press Enter, and then find it on the list and click it. That'll take you to it. Now, other useful things is, if you look on the right, there's these series of buttons. It's by default it shows the statistics, but one button down you can enable filters, and in that way you can turn on and off things like filters, facility connections, hotspots, and you can change the heat maps to enemy activity. And this is a very useful thing for squad leaders and platoon leaders to know, because it tells you directly by the basically the saturation of the color on the map how much enemy population is at. These things make it very streamlined. Also, when you're looking on the continent, especially when you're on a fresh continent, you want to know what bases are relevant. Because if you're at Freyr substation, even though it's adjacent to Freyr network compound, there's no lattice. So you can't just go from that base to the next. You have to go to Freyr amp station to attack Freyr network compound. So the easiest way to tell this, and even though this is displayed by default, it might not be obvious. You see the gold dotted lattice lines. Those are the most relevant lattice lines, because those are the ones that you can attack. And those are also the ones that the enemy can attack from. So always train your eyes to go to those golden dotted lattice lines the moment you open the map for the first time when you log in, if you're going to squad lead. Even if you're not squad lead. It's important for everyone to keep an eye on the map, because squad leads aren't perfect. We miss things. Gino misses things. All of us miss things. And even though we have all this experience, sometimes all it takes is, oh, by the way, Gino, just so you know, we're losing this base. Or the enemy doesn't have pump at this other base, we could attack that. If Gino's or the platoon lead's taken a long time to deliberate on where to attack next.
We are getting wrecked on this map.
Yeah, on that point, it's helpful for the platoon leader if somebody else is like looking at the map and you guys, for example, see like biolab is going down. It helps if you say, "Hey, Gino, biolab is going down," and then you mention the Bob.
But that's why I need you guys on TeamSpeak. I don't want you saying that in the squads or platoons. It has a tendency to pretty much make people think, oh, well, we can just start undermining things. No. That kind of stuff I want on TeamSpeak because that way nobody else knows about it except for the people that want to do it and are wanting to do leadership especially, right? And to learn, to hear that and say, oh, well, let's look at it. So yeah, I mean, you want to look at multiple different things. You want to know what bases to attack. If there's a fight at Aurora Materials Lab, for example, and there's 48 to 96, and they're taking that base, there's 1 minute left, and you decide to attack Inferi Barracks, well, unless they are just a Zerg fit and they don't care about the rest of the map, and they're not reading the map themselves, they're probably going to move over, right? So that's why you got to make sure you pick your battles. 3-point bases. If you know you can take a 3-point base, my gosh, you might as well take it if it makes sense. Now, what does that mean? Hey, Gino, you just encouraged me to do it, but now you're saying if it makes sense. A biolab always usually makes sense unless the base behind you can easily get capped. Okay. Serial listing post, if you can take serial listing post, will make sense if you have the tech plan, right? If you just have serial listing post and not the tech plan, they can cut you off pretty easily by taking ISA Mountain Pass and then Rhyme Analytics, right? Matheson's Triumph, my goodness, take Matheson's Triumph for the love of God. That'll hold such an amount of territory, it's ridiculous. Because if they take Matheson's, going up to Ramp Station that way is actually really, really, really easy, right? And knowing how to defend bases, right? How to put people is also part of reading the map, right? Reading the territory or the terrain. So let's put an example down. Let's say we were going to help save for Ramp Station. Let's use that as a good example because it's got towers. Usually, when I set up stuff, I set
Welcome
up
to
heavily based on where they're going to come from
101.
and have one squad on a place where I think they're going to flank to, right? So we got 3 squads right now. So I'll say, okay, Alpha, why don't you go there? Bravo, you go there. And Charlie, you're going to go here. So the main force, if they try and go through that main shield, will get stopped, right? If they don't and they try and just go right towards where the Charlie waypoint is, Alpha and Bravo should be able to hit them as they're moving over. Or even if they take the back way, right? There's 2 routes there. If they get towards Charlie, Charlie then has a chance to kill them, right? So that watching and seeing, oh, there's towers. Towers are elevation. Towers are cover. That's good. That's what you want your guys to have. Let's go into a different scenario. What about over by, let's say, right in front of Snowshire Watchtower, there's this thing, a platoon waypoint. That's actually, you can use a ridge like that as cover. You can set up squads to be kind of like this. Right? Reading the train. You see how the train moves like that as well, based on the waypoints. So you can use those things as cover. Another example would be using rocks, right? So if I set the waypoints up like this, does everybody see where I'm putting them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So you're putting them in locations that you're reading the map and saying, okay, there's got to be cover here, or there's got to be advantageous parts to it. Or another one is knowing where the points are, right? So if you guys look at Snowshear, I know where the points are. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do this. Blah blah blah. So that's all part of learning the map and reading the map, right?
For a squad leader, you don't have those waypoints. That's why it's also important to unlock the smoke. If you notice, if I'm a squad leader, I used to smoke a lot because if I don't have a platoon, I don't have those waypoints. So even though everybody can see them, they probably don't understand why you have the purple, orange smoke and all that stuff, but they don't see that you were using that as a more of like a waypoint for your squad.
So does everybody see the smoke that's on Snowshoe now?
Yep. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Yep. So that's why it's important, right? To have that too, is it helps you already target up where sunnies might be, and or if you're a squad leader, set up waypoints like that as well. Especially for movement, it actually really helps if you're moving sunnies along using that as opposed to waypoints. Excuse me. I keep forgetting, which is my fault.
Yawning's contagious!
I need to correct that as well.
Real quick, Gino. Just as a reminder for squad leads, or just anybody reading maps, and Esamir's kind of unique for this, but if it isn't a one-cap base that the connector, a lot of the multiple point bases are going to be real unique. Like in Snowshear, we have a full, almost built-in level for, like, I believe that's C point there, where Yellow Smoke is. However,
Yeah, that's it.
Charlie's Smoke is elevated somewhat. And then we have the tower. In Frere Amp Station, you have 3 spawn rooms besides the defender spawn.
I'm like running out of Jolly Ranchers. When I run out of Jolly Ranchers, guys, I'm gonna be... Ew, that's green apple. I don't like green apple.
And all the points are outside the amp station. So you gotta watch out for that. And sometimes it'll be a little overbearing if you're somewhat new to the base. I mean, most people say they don't know the Hawson layouts for bases. There's a lot of confusing things on Hawson.
If you're struggling, I just
this
want to add this. If you're struggling to give or figure out what your squad needs to do, let's say you're running your own squad. This is, again, part of what I teach the squad leaders. Keep it simple. If you're following, for example, I like doing this sometimes, like I follow AODR, and I use them as a meat shield. So I know they're going to attack Fair Amp Station. I'm going to put my squad on one of the capture point. And I'm just going to say, hey, we're going to defend that B point. Rest of AODR, take care of the other point. Because as long as you're holding 1 point on the triple cap base that you're attacking, that will give the rest of the TR that's attacking with you to push up. So even though I'm not with their platoon, I know what's going to happen. Because nobody, once they see a point it's fully capped, sometimes they leave it alone. Well, guess what? The enemy's going to try to retake it. And if you put your squad there, then you're going to be able to be effective because you're basically defending a point and then you're getting kills at the same time. Also, don't be that guy that thinks like he's always running a platoon. He will drop his small squad on every big fight. That is a big no-no. You will lose members very quickly. When I'm running a squad, it's usually I look for fights that could benefit from my squad, or there could be like small ghost cap. I like doing this when VS or NC's ghost cap. I will take my squad to go find their sun and blow it up. It helps them to kind of get organized and kind of understand the importance of being redeploying altogether, so that if we need to drop on a certain point, we're grouped up every single time. Once you do that a couple of times, after a while, every single person will automatically redeploy. If you guys notice in my squad,
yes, it is. They are doing they're doing squad training for squad leaders. I am hoping that we will go into combat in a bit. Maybe, hopefully. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's going to take a while. But enjoy learning some new tactical ideas. And
as soon as you got your squad to be working at that level, it doesn't matter if they're beat you or not. It could be AODR, they could be other outfits. They will follow your order. We have people that do that. They love running with us because we give that command structure and we make sure we take care of each of our squad members.
I'm getting so tired.
Under each squad. So that's very important. You don't have to be running a platoon. Platoon leading is not the easiest thing. Squad leading is okay. Start from there. Do that every day. If you don't want to run a platoon, go ahead. Keep. I think ALS 94. I love how he runs his squad because he just constantly kicks people, and after a while, he's gonna stop doing it because every single player in his squad is following his order. So don't get attached to your squad member. Like you're saying, oh, I'm gonna give them like 10 warnings. Don't do that. If they're not following your orders, kick them out because you're a beat your squad. Beat your squads get filled up very quickly. Like we would open up one squad, and before you know it, we're like another full squad. If we have everybody like run their own squad, I can guarantee you on the next continent, in less than 30 minutes, we'll be able to fill it up. And it's just gonna fill up instantly.
Yeah. Hey. So before I forget, because I didn't get to interject earlier.
Alex.
So a thing about when we were talking about talking in TeamSpeak. So a lot of people are like, why do we use TeamSpeak? So,
I'm sorry, Durkee.
Giving suggestions.
It's been a long day.
We usually run with open squads, open to the public. That means that we are putting on a face. We are representing BTR. So that means that we have to take pains in order to make sure that we are being represented in the best of ways. So that's one way that helps represent us in a good way.
I know it's helpful to me. It's just, it doesn't help that this is at 10 o'clock at night and I'm tired.
So this is important for a number of reasons that aren't obvious. Because as a leader, you're not just in charge of winning. You're also in charge of making sure people have fun. And surprisingly, this can be easy to forget. So part of having fun in games is
my math must not be right, because I am pretty sure 72 plus 15 plus 10 does not equal 100.
Constant non-stop action. People get burnt out. They can only handle so much stimulus. So
unless you're Juno.
Sometimes a ghost cap is actually a good thing because it gives people time to relax if you've just come off a really intense big fight. Another thing that's really important to keep in mind is that a platoon is composed of squads. Squads are independent entities. They're meant to be. That means that some of the time, and this is something that Gino has problems with, you need to break up the platoon. You send one squad or two squads to two different bases. This is something that I think that I do the most, especially when I was doing over at Beaton. I had the platoon apart almost the entirety of the alert. We were one squad on each province because the VS just weren't giving us enough resistance. So you only want as many forces on a province as you need. That also helps with regards to making sure you're not overpopping, so keeping an interesting challenge for everyone. Because BTR is organized. We're more organized than most of the opposition that we face. So overpopping not only gives us a bad reputation, but it's just boring. And it's also just strategically unsound. So keep that in mind.
No,
sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's not. Now, one thing I'm going to say about the splitting the platoon up is you're doing possibly two things with that, okay, which is actually really good. One of them plays into the fact that ever since 6 months ago, if you put one B-tier squad in a fight, no matter who else is there, the fight changes immediately. And usually it favors TR. For some reason, because of how we play and how we're organized, if you're doing it correctly, it will change the fight even if AODR is there and losing. And AODR, unfortunately, has a reputation sometimes, and I'm going to have to emphasize sometimes, of overpopping an area, but still not being able to take it. And then when you get B tier in there, all of a sudden, and it's just one squad B tier, you get them in there, all of a sudden the fight is finally going in their favor, right? So splitting your squads up to help your friends it's good. It's good for our reputation. It's good for what exemplifies us as being leaders of pushes. We are always the outfit that is pushing. And pretty much being a supportive group for our faction. And as well as basically showing people that teamwork is amazing and it works. The other thing it does is you can overwhelm the enemy. So if an enemy is looking at the map and says, well, we got 3 bases that are getting capped, they now have to make the same choice. They either have to break up their platoon and respond, or they have to say, screw it, we'll just write them off, right? If they write one of 3 bases off, you're getting a base. Even if you don't take the other two, you're still getting a base. And that's the whole point of this, is getting territory, right? So doing that, you can overwhelm the enemy to the point where they're not sure which bases to actually defend, especially if you're attacking 3, and 2 of them are important.
Yeah,
and if you have 4
guys know,
squads, you can do the same thing. You can attack 4 places at once.
if I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't run a full platoon. I usually like just running the squad because I like you guys when you guys just play together as one squad. We have done so many. I run squads where we are basically helping the other outfit on that base, whether we're dropping on the amp station or the tech plant, where we're just focused on that one spot. It helps, even though it might not be a B tier, which is kind of funny because sometimes we would have just one squad and AODR would be the entire platoon on that map, and it's B tier who's going to show up on the base capture. That has happened so many times because the way we do our squad, we kind of get the more points because of the assist, all the revives that we do. And that's the thing, is that's why the teamwork is very important, because every time you have classes supporting each other, everybody gets a lot of cert. I don't know if you guys realize, but sometimes I don't fire my weapon as much. I still get a lot of cert, and I'm pretty sure those people who are shooting people to kill people, they get more. I mean, so it's not something that we just move you so you guys pretty much get the same amount of cert. Try this. Record your score per hour if you're running on a BT and you're running on a, let's say, AODR platoon. I can tell you there is a huge difference in score per hour. And that is the one that tells you if you're getting a lot of certs or not. Because
there's an actual mechanic that measures the distance you are away from another team member and the amount of certs that person is getting with you versus separated from you, right? It's in there. It's just not prevalent.
Yeah, Gino. I got a couple comments and questions if there's time for that.
Might as well do it now. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I've been leading squads and platoons a lot lately, and I found a lot of the stuff you guys said is really, really helpful. And I wanted to emphasize, from where I'm sitting, how important it is that everyone sort of acts as a everyone has the opportunity to be a leader. So you lead by example by following orders quickly, and it becomes really obvious who's not following orders because most of the squads all sit in the right place. You encourage your squad mates to come with you and say, hey guys, let's get over to A point. You can say hey, Dookie, come guard the small stairs with me. Things like that I find really helpful. I find usually there's too few people talking in squad chat more than there's too many. So I think you can err on the side of communication. And similar to that, I find going together is really, really helpful. There's I actually spent some time in the Canadian Forces, and there's an expression in lots of different branches that's 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So if you go together, you're way more likely to succeed. So things like guarding your medics when they go to revive somebody, or your infiltrators when they're hacking a terminal. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on was if you don't know, ask. So if you don't know how to do something, ask somebody. People in this outfit are actually very nice, and they'll tell you. Someone just showed me the other day how to set the primary target, and that was super helpful. Another thing I find really helpful as a platoon leader, especially, is when people ask what should I be doing right now? If the orders aren't clear, or if there's no orders being given, ask, prompt your squad leader or your platoon leader to say hey, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be. I find that actually immensely helpful.
I just want to add to that. This is the mentality that a lot of people do. They like going. If you notice, guys, people like running on their own, and they usually get killed. And if we're set up on a spot, it's usually impossible to get us off that spot unless we are severely overpowered. The reasoning that well, this is something that we discovered when we were playing those special outfits versus outfits on Matherson's. I forgot what they were called. But they basically showed us that
Who
if
is
you have a
Alpha
group
5?
of 12 guys working together, even just 6 guys working together,
Rizman.
it's almost impossible to break that team because there's always a guarantee. There's always medics to revive, engineers for ammo pack. So if we're put in a position wherein there's one squad, I can guarantee you it's always an overpop. That's the only way to get you guys off that position. If you're holding a point, that's a room, the only way you're gonna lose all your players there is if they put an overpop to you. Now, they just throw grenades. Yeah, that can happen too. But it's very effective, and it's actually very annoying for even the veteran players to go up against a group of guys that are working together. They may not be veteran players. They may be low battle rank. That's 12 guys firing or supporting each other, working against one guy. He's just gonna leave. He's not gonna come back. Imagine if you're a vet player, battle rank 120, and you keep coming back to the tech plant 8.
Hello.
And there's like 12 guys, 12 noobs on the balcony, and they have a squad leader who knows what they're doing. He's gonna lose every single time. And after 2 or 3 times, he's not gonna come back. That's how intimidating it is when you have a group of guys working together and they're fighting against guys that have no organization. They just come in 2x2, 3x3. They're just gonna keep dying. And unless they group up, they come in as a force, they're not gonna make a difference.
And you guys have all seen it. You guys have seen it time and time again. If you were on last night, we defended a base in stages, over or underpopped against, and that was on BTYN. That was on the NC side of things. We defended one base, overpopped against us by 60% at one point, and we still managed to do it because of teamwork. Right? We have also been in fights where we are holding the point, and we are overpopped by. It doesn't have to be much. 60% is, a good number. Anywhere between 52 to 60%.
Interrupt you for a second. We're gonna get kicked off this conference in 50 seconds.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. So essentially, yeah, I mean, overpop doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to lose. If you guys are working together, and it depends on the scenario, what building, what choke points, how you're shooting, that should help, right? But again, if you get popped, that's a good thing. That means what you're doing is what needs to be doing, right? The fact that they have to put so much effort and so many bodies into that solution, that is a good thing. That is a win in my book. Okay? Even though it might suck. Does anybody else have any questions? We're gonna go to the continent that unlocks, just so everybody knows once we die here.
It's probably
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, go for it, Bass, as we're trying to get onto the
We gotta go
continent.
Indar.
Yep, go in there.
My question is, if we're already looking at the map of Indar, like, say we're going to assault the Indar excavation site for VS.
Are you about to go to combat?
Send one small squadron to, like, Indar comms and head back over to, like, Cormar Labs, Med Labs, and pull Sundies and tanks and try to hold that position up there to hold their attention up there.
Okay, where's the question?
Well, is that an advised thing to do for said situations if it's like dead meat struggle?
Yeah, okay, so scenario is you're trying to take into our excavation site, but you have an opportunity to attack into our comm and flank around all the way to core meds. Is that the scenario?
No, what I was kind of meaning was going... I used to do this with 382nd, used to help basically flank an enemy real bad.
Yep.
Basically what we would do is that I would take an infiltrator with a flash right over to core med labs, hack the terminal asunder, and then all of a sudden we have all the behind the enemy line.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. You, go to...
North pad. Should be fine.
Go...
Somewhere on the
Put some
north pad.
So, yeah, and that's the thing. I want you guys... I'm not a genius. I don't think of everything. I don't think of the best plans at times. I don't even think outside the box as much as I wish I would. I do sometimes, but there are other times where I... So, if you can think of a plan like that, do it. Absolutely. Think outside the box. Don't think that you're limited to just where the base is. Indoor excavation site has so many options for attacking it, approaching it, dropping on it, and all that jazz, right? So, if you guys can do it, if you can think of it, great. If you can think of it and you're not the platoon or squad lead, suggest it at the same time, right? Make a suggestion. I am more than open to suggestions, but again, if I say no, don't take it personally.
Yeah, so to just expand on that further, that's a great idea. That's something that we do occasionally, and especially when and another thing is sometimes when we attack Indar X, we will simultaneously, and this is something I like to do, especially, is if I want to take Indar X, sometimes I will attack the Haka Southern Post either first or in addition to split their pop. So, going to Core Med Labs is a risk, because they can choose to not engage you. You can't take Core Med Labs even though you're on that province. But if they have significant armor population in Undar X, and that's what's preventing you from moving up, as is a common scenario, then yes, that's a great idea. You just have to keep in mind that you're isolated. You're vulnerable to air assets because you're in enemy airspace, so it's a gambit. But yes, things like that, they're clever maneuvers. They're things that I wish I saw more in Planetside, because they're awesome to take part in, and they're awesome to try and counter. Things that think outside the box increase the fun for everyone. So yes, we encourage that kind of tactics. It's advanced.
Also,
and
one thing I'd like to add.
I'll just say this, then you can add it. Fortune favors the bold. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that term or not, but it's so true. The more bold you can be, yeah, it's a risk. You might fail, but if it succeeds, it could succeed absolutely spectacularly. So don't limit yourself. Don't limit your imagination. Try and think outside the box. Yeah, there's going to be times where you're going to be tired, okay? And those times is times to possibly switch it off. But if you can try and think outside the box as much as possible, do it. And you'll know when I'm getting tired. When I'm getting tired, you guys will know, because things will become a little more zergy, and I won't be thinking outside the box as much. And then you guys will be able to help me at those moments, and or take over from me at those moments. Sorry, go for it.
I would just like to add, this is one thing you guys need to avoid when you guys are giving suggestions. Do not give suggestions that sound like you're undermining the platoon leader. That is the biggest no-no. If you see... For example, there are instances where I'm running the platoon and I can't see that there is for example, like Crossroads Watchtower is going down and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't see it, but most of the time I do see it. What you want to avoid is, if you're a squad leader or somebody in that platoon, you're trying to undermine the platoon leader by saying, hey, Crossroads is going down. It's very important. And you keep repeating it. Don't do that. We do have platoon leaders that kind of know how to read the map. They do know what's important. And if you notice, I think when we were playing yesterday against the NC, I was keeping an eye on one heck, and I was pretty much informing Gino what's going on, but I never say it in a way that I'm questioning what we're doing at that bay. Never do that, because if you start doing that, a lot of the players will start doubting the platoon leader, and once he loses that confidence, he's just going to flip out. The chain of command is just going to break down. If you do not like what's happening, speak up if you're getting farmed. Say, hey, platoon lead, we're getting farmed. Or tell your squad leader, hey, squad leader, we're getting farmed here. Give that information to the squad leader so he can tell the platoon leader, and he can make that decision. Hey, you know what? The squad leader's gonna say, hey, my squad members, they're just getting killed. They're not making it towards the objective. I'm gonna move my squad to another position, the platoon leader would be able to react. Don't say, hey, we're losing the biolab. We need to keep. Don't do that, because that is it just undermines the platoon leader. And if he's not a very experienced platoon leader, what's going to happen is he's going to lose that confidence. And when that happens, he's going to lose the entire platoon. So be respectful of who's ever in command. Okay? If you want to be a platoon leader, when the opportunity comes up, do it. If there's I asked, like earlier, I would run a good squad, and I ask, anybody want to be a squad leader? I tell you guys, hey, this is a good squad. You've seen us. We just took a base. We defended a base. Nobody would speak up, right? So if I give that opportunity, or Gino gives that opportunity, take command. Here's the thing, guys. I enjoy running the squads in platoon. If you guys want to run my squad, because this is what I'm doing now. If I have Alpha squad and Bravo is starting to fill up, I will give somebody my Alpha because it's a good squad, and I am going to build up Bravo. That way, all of my squad leaders, they have members who can follow order. But if you want to take a squad from my platoon because you want to do it. Just simply say, hey, can I get Bravo, or can I get Charlie? It's very easy. I'll give you the squad lead. But again, do not undermine the platoon leader, because it will just drive them nuts, and it's going to get frustrating for them to be having somebody kind of like backseat platoon lead. Even when Gino is making a mistake, I make a little comment and I just pay attention to the matter. I give Gino the information that he needs to know, but I never said it in a tone that makes it sound like I'm questioning what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, he's the platoon leader. I'm going to follow his command or I get kicked, right? That's the
point. And the point, build on that, is when he's introducing it, he's leaving it for me to make the decision. So the decision is still mine, and that way people will still listen to that decision. So when he's presenting it, he's not saying, hey, we should be doing this instead. He's saying, hey, Gino, this is happening, and or, what do you think about this? And if I say yes or no, then it still becomes my idea, in a sense, and my plan, and my decision, right? And people will follow that, because you're empowering your platoon leader in a situation like that, versus trying to take power away from him, right? So it's just a matter of wording it. But, okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments about everything we talked about?
My brain hurts!
A little bit more to that point.
I have a question. When are we going to go?
Authority, but it can be kind of difficult to tell exactly what that is. So let me define it pretty clearly. So when you want to change the course of a platoon, you think that you know better, and this sometimes happens. So you're there to make suggestions and point out problems, and you do this in a limited fashion. You don't do it multiple times, and if it's not being acted on, then you let it go. So, say, like, in the most grievous of circumstances, a platoon leader is just fucking up every time, and they're just not in it, and you want to take over, or you want to change the plan entirely. Send them and tell them in TeamSpeak. Let them make it seem like it's their idea. Like, if you want to take over the entire platoon, you send them a tell, and then that way, if they agree, yeah, I'm not on my game, I want to let them take over, so that they can keep their confidence, and the platoon can keep their confidence in that platoon lead. They basically then say, I'm going to take a break from platoon leading and hand it off, instead of, hey, you should give me platoon lead. I know I can pull us out of this situation. Because that's not good. Because it's humiliating, and humiliation is really bad. It creates drama. It's terrible. So yeah, don't make assertions when you're not the squad or platoon lead. Because even as a squad leader, you're there to accomplish what the platoon leader wants to do. That's your job as a squad leader. You're basically his hands. If the hands don't do what the person wants it to do, they're useless.
Yeah, and so this applies even in a squad. If you have an idea and or you want to take over the squad, do the same thing. It's transferable that way. But yeah, does anybody else have anything else about anything else we talked about, question-wise or comment-wise? Because we're gonna wrap it up right now, so that way we can actually get into some combat.
Sorry, Jen, I had a quick question about. I find I'm often confused, like when to keep galaxies up and things, because when I know it's important for logistics, but I find that the whole organization breaks down when all your squad leaders are sitting in galaxies. They can't see the points very well. They can't lead their troops around. I don't know.
But that's why I'm trying to empower you guys to be leaders even when you're not in the position or the role, right? If you know your squad leader is up top, speak up. Become this executive squad leader, right? Or squad leaders can start just designating people that, hey, if I'm up here, you take over. I do that from time to time. But yeah, be confident in yourself to take that moment and lead, even though you're not technically the official squad leader, but in that freaking moment, so tired. You are, right? Because you're the guy on the ground. You can help keep people cohesive. You can help or your squad leader do his job. That's not undermining him, especially if you're making it or you're asking your squad leader, hey, can I do this while you're up there? He's probably going to say yeah, unless he's got a brain tumor. So
I think I just want to point out to Squigglies. I actually did that. I think you were running, or somebody was running a platoon. Yeah, you were flying the galaxy, right? And I was the one on the ground, so I started giving command to everybody on the ground because you couldn't see what was going on. I knew you would not have a chance to see it. But on that part, don't be the guy that's always flying the galaxy. You guys will always see this. I will always ask a volunteer and let somebody fly a galaxy for the team. It teaches them how to fly a galaxy. It gives them a boost of confidence. Hey, I got a special mission to do. So don't be just a squad leader and you're always automatically the gal pilot. We just request squad leaders to do that because most of the time our squad leaders, they know basically the response time is needed, so they do it quickly. Sometimes when we ask, it takes them about a minute and a half to figure out, hey, I'm supposed to go back to the warp gate right now and pull a galaxy. Sometimes they'll spend like 30 seconds trying to die. Well, sometimes we need that 30 seconds. That's why we just ask it for the squad leader. But designate. Don't be afraid to say, hey, or ask, hey, I need a volunteer. Somebody pull a galaxy from the warp gate.
Stop is quiet.
What was that, Gravity? I didn't hear what he said.
I have no idea. I think his thing just crapped out and you can't hear anybody right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of... okay, so to build off on the other part of what you asked, when is it time to ditch them? So it's really going to be your call. Galaxies are vulnerable to air attack and from anti-air. Okay, so you're going to make the call at that point. I try and keep them up as long as possible, unless we have Sundays, and then I get them ditched because I'd rather have that guy on the ground than have the galaxy right on top of the point, pretty much announcing to everybody, hey, we are over here, bring your air. And we could use the Sundays anyways, and the spawn beacons as well, right? There are moments where we go to a place and just ditch the gals right away. Those moments are pretty much to get everybody on the ground as fast as possible and to push points that we need to retake to defend the base a lot of times. Or if we need to just get over there and we don't want the gal at all. It's very rare in that sense.
Please cease fire.
But yeah, I mean, squad leaders are people I know will get it instantly. If everybody in this platoon can be a leader in their own sense and step up at the right moments, like right away without even thinking about, maybe I'll wait for somebody else to do it. Like, you guys should be fighting over each other in a sense to do the jobs that we need done and to lead. because that's how we're going to keep squads going. That's how we're going to keep gals up, get them going all the time, get the things in a much faster fashion, so we can be way more competitive and way better in what we need to get done.
Gino, just FYI, Quartz Ridge is going down. We might want to respond to that.
Has anybody else got a question, or do you guys want to get right into the fighting? I've got two people that apparently were way too bored and decided to get away from us right away after we switched. I am married. Yes, I have two kids, one on the way. They are years 4, 2, and 0. And I'm 30 years old, so...
you're young.
You forgot your location.
I'm Canadian. I live in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada.
Address.
I'm in
Your
Toronto.
social security number.
It is 51 Sam.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Would you like my credit card number too? I don't stream anymore. I record. I just have been very slow on putting the recordings on. I don't stream because it was too choppy and I didn't like it. If I could upgrade my rig, I would definitely stream more. But the streams they get way too choppy, so it's not even enjoyable to watch. The recording seems to do better, so that's why I go for that. But I might try and stream it again at some point. We'll see. But the thing is, when I stream, I also record it at the same time because Twitch only keeps it for so long, as far as I know. Yeah, and Unit is also streaming, so getting the gals. I want you guys. I'm not going to be leading the platoon. I need somebody to volunteer to lead the platoon. I'm not even going to lead a squad because I want people to lead squads, and I kind of need a break for my voice and stuff right now. So who wants to do platoon? Who wants to lead for Bravo and Alpha? Actually, you Squigglies, you keep Alpha because you need to practice. Territory, do you want to keep Bravo or do you want to pass it off?
I'll keep ahead of Bravo for right now.
Okay, Bravo is going to be territory. Who wants platoon?
I'm gonna take platoon, but I'm just gonna watch you guys and see if you guys can do the job. I'm gonna, do what Gino's trying to do and just basically back off. So it's just about following the waypoints, and I want to see, how you guys move. I can read the map, so.
Okay, I'll be AFK just for a couple minutes because I gotta pee and I gotta get a drink. So Bravo just take off without me, and yeah, let's see how this goes. If you are not with the platoon, get with the freaking platoon. Alpha 4, we are B tier. We are not anybody else. Your team is your life. Get with them right now.
Okay, Alpha Bravo, get a Galaxy up in the air. Inbound platoon waypoint is objective ASAP. Drop what you guys are doing. Make your way towards the platoon waypoint. We need to resecure that bay.
I'm gonna have to get off for the night. My time's up. I got work tomorrow. Have a good night.
See you later, Smokey.
Yep. Order leadership later. Try to catch some of the whenever it gets posted. See you.
Yeah, sorry, PL. I have to go. You need a new alpha leader.
Platoon waypoint is the drop point.
I know, right?
Waiting for Bravo Galaxy.
I can lead Alpha.
Okay, redirect to A. Redirect to A.
You have a Sunday today.
We got Sunday in the back.
Okay, let's push to A point. Platoon waypoint is actual, guys. That's the only objective. Okay, who was the person who wanted to run a squad?
I give it to Albino Ninja.
Oh, okay. You don't want to run a squad, Squiggly?
No, I gotta run. Sorry.
Post squad. Make sure that that thing is open. It should fill up pretty quickly.
Put a beacon out, please.
Okay, everybody on my mark. We are going to be pushing towards B point. Everybody regroup on A. Fall back to A. Let the puppies take care of the outer perimeter. Start moving to platoon waypoint. The access point is from Alpha. From Alpha, go to Bravo and then platoon. Move. Gotta put pressure on that B point, guys. I know it's a little bit messy.
Funk, I think we gotta move up.
Okay, it looks like we got completely wiped. They probably have a Sunday at the platoon waypoint location.
Yo, we spawn at that. I'm not entirely sure as to the layout of the base, but that Sunday spawn point at the south. If we mass spawn there, we get them from 2 directions.
Roger that. I'm actually looking at you guys. If you guys are still alive, it looks like you guys are holding that position, so we are good to go. Okay, everybody back up to the north end. North end at platoon waypoint. We're gonna try to sweep that base. Move to platoon waypoint. Regroup on that A point. We're close to that A point, and we're gonna try to push out of that A point. Okay, I need info. Do they still have a lot of armor on the outside perimeter?
Sunder is directly northeast. Is directly east of where you spawn, where you are currently at.
You guys still see those mag riders outside of A?
I don't have any eyes. Oh, yep. They're on our east-northeast.
I'm so tired. I might just leave the platoon and go solo.
Meters out, it looks like, from the markers. However, we got lightnings and harassers right in front of the door past A point.
Okay, we are gonna go. This is what's gonna happen, guys. We need to go to the second floor at platoon waypoint. We're gonna use that platoon waypoint as a firing position. We're gonna try to push the armor a little bit back. Everybody start moving to platoon. Get to the second floor of that building in front of A. And then let's see if we can shoot their armor. We're gonna use that as a firing platform. You guys see any armor out? Yep, there's some harassers out here. Okay. Get ready to move. We are going to have to do this quickly. There is going to be a flank that we're going to do. Platoon waypoint, first objective. And then we're going to have to run across to Alpha. And then we are going to meet up that armor column on Charlie. We are moving in 3. Get that harasser. Kill that harasser before we move. Just going to run us over. Okay, start moving. Push to platoon. From platoon, we're going to move to Alpha and then to Charlie. Be mindful of your south. There's a lot of armor there. Or there's an enemy Sunday somewhere to this.
Hey guys, we're doing combat now if you want to join this platoon that we got going.
Okay, clear Alpha, and then push to Charlie squad waypoint. Looks like there might be a Sunday on that backside. Approach it from the north end. Okay, squad leaders, get a Galaxy up in the air, heading towards Aladdin Biolab. Platoon waypoint. Nice job, gentlemen. We're not going to push to Indar excavation site. We're not going to do that. Squad leaders, get a Galaxy inbound to Aladdin Biolab, ASAP. Once you get your Galaxy, get your troops to redeploy ASAP. We might make it to the botany.
Alright guys, go ahead and redeploy. You want us to go ahead and move, head over to platoon?
Move.
Okay.
Yep, we are moving to platoon waypoint. Okay, Alpha is ahead. Precision gal drop on that backside. Platoon waypoint. Frags in, wait for the explosion, and then clear out and hold the point.
Alright guys, I'm not gonna be on the ground. I'm gonna try and keep this up for a minute. Please.
Looks like they're fighting over the bridge. They're not gonna be expecting us dropping, so this should be a fairly easy sweep.
There's a Sunderer down there. If you can.
Don't worry about that Sunday. Don't worry about that Sunday. Need the
Never
timer
mind,
back
don't
up.
worry about Sunday. Just go to point.
Okay, it looks like we got the 8-point back. Push to platoon waypoint. Enemy Sandy is right beside it at Bravo. Push up, push up.
Let's go.
Enemy Sunder is down. They have another one pulling up on the road.
Roger that.
Sundy's on the move.
Okay, we got a Sandy flanking on the backside. Bravo, you guys take care of that Sandy. Alpha will push up north. Let's go clear that Alpha squad waypoint, Alpha. Bravo will clear the Sandy parking at Bravo squad waypoint. Okay, Sandy is actually running around.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be green.
Guys, head to Alpha Waypoint. Head to Alpha Waypoint.
I'm so tired.
Alpha waypoint's clear.
Alright. You want Alpha to hold at Alpha Waypoint, correct?
Yep, hold that. I'll stop their armor from coming. You guys still see some armor trying to run up the road?
Got Sunday.
Only see one Sunder right now. That's about to
it's down.
It's gone.
Roger that. We should be done at that base. Nice job, gentlemen. Okay, Crossroads.
He's got one more time to call me gentleman.
That's the one we actually need. Let's see. Indar Comer.
Sniper, south.
We're gonna get a lot of pop from there. Okay, we're gonna go attack TI Alloys. Let's see if we can take that against the NC while they are pushing on the east side of the map. Okay, Alpha Squad. Are we clear at platoon waypoint? Do you guys still see some armor?
Sniper down.
I did see armor not at the platoon waypoint, but the bridge directly to the east of that.
Enemy Sundays coming up.
Roger that. Here comes Sandy. Alpha team, here comes the Sandy. Bravo team, new Sandy. Bravo team, you got a new Sandy coming in from the right in front of Bravo squad lead, actually.
We were rotating back.
Roger that. They're still throwing Sandys out of the space. That's kind of fun. Are we clear of Sandys, gentlemen?
Alpha Squad, do not go to the biolab. Stay at
I'm gonna call it a night, guys.
Are we clear? You looking good now?
It appears to be so.
Okay, squad leaders, get a Galaxy inbound, land it.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my stream. I'm sorry it was a little boring there. with all that information. Hopefully you learned some new leadership tactics for Planetside 2. If you're interested in playing Planetside 2, Planetside 2 is free to play. You can get it off of Steam. This was actually Brothers of Tyr. So B tier in the TR faction of Emerald server. My name is Unalise. Alright, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. If you like what you saw, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. I love you all so much.